Hello students, welcome to the e-learning program initiated by Shri Gyanmanjari for the students of Standard 9, in which we are learning the subject of English. Students, we are going to start today with a new chapter from Moments. Name of the chapter is A House is Not a Home. That is chapter number 8. A house is not a home. Yes, home can be anywhere where you're completely satisfied with where you are living. That can be your home. Sometimes it can be a temporary home also. But home is where you make yourself completely comfortable, you like it, and you want to live over there. It can be a home. It can be a small hut, or it can be a palace. But a house certainly cannot become a home unless and until lots of feelings, lots of emotions, lots of experience, lots of your invaluable time is spent over there. Quality time is spent over there. There are lots and lots of memories attached with that particular place. That place becomes your home. Especially for children, childhood can never be forgotten. Even when you grow up, you become 30, 40, 50, 60, 80, 90 years of age, you still remember very, very fresh in your mind. You close your eyes and you can see the place where you grew up, where you were a child. As a small child, you used to wander about, play here and there, right? You will certainly be watching that in your dream come now and then, again and again, again and again. The childhood, the place where you spent your childhood can never, never be forgotten in the entire life. So, a house is a place where people live. But a home is where a person lives with his family, spends quality time with his family, has innumerable memories of that place. It is his sweet home. He always likes to go back when the evening is over, when the day is over. You like to go back to that place. That is your home. So a house is not a home. A very apt title is given by the author. The author of this chapter is Zen Gaudioso. My first year of high school felt awkward. After leaving junior high school at the head of my class with all the seniority the upper class grade or the upper grade levels can afford me. So, we are talking about a child, a boy, who has just entered his first year of the high school. First year of the high school, that is 8th standard, right? So he has just left his junior high school. Junior high school is 5, 6, 7 grade. That is standard 5, 6, 7 for us. And the high school, the first step of the high school is 8th grade or 8th standard. Yes. So with all the grades that I had in the last year of the junior high school, accordingly I was placed in the school for doing my high school. So, after leaving junior high school at the head of my class, that means I was somewhere near the top, right? With all the seniority, the upper grade levels could afford me, right? So, you get good grades, you get a good school, right? That's the meaning. Yes, you get low grades. Yes, you have to do with some school which has usually all the types of students having some lower grades. Yes, and they need to advance on that. You get good grades, you get admission in a good school. So that is the meaning. That might be the system of somewhere, right? We are not talking about that right now, right? So seniority, that means I was in the merit list and I had lots of good grades. So that put me in the nearest best school that I can go to. It felt strange starting over as a freshman. Freshman, as if you are a first grader, right? So freshman, it can be anything. It can be just the first day you go to school in your life, that is first standard. Maybe for us it is pre-primary, primary, nursery, whatever, right? But you're starting fresh. Yes, you do your pre-primary and you do your KG nursery in one school. Then sometimes it happens that your parents they move you to a better school, right? Or somewhere a good education is given. So you again go there as a freshman. That means you are a new student. Rest of the students might be from the same school from KG to first standard. Then you are a newcomer over there. Rest of the students, they might be knowing you. First standard, second standard, third standard, fourth, fifth. That's still okay. But when you come to higher grades or higher standards, you know the difficulty. Up till fifth standard, you studied somewhere, right? Sixth standard, maybe transfer happened. Parents got transferred, right? You go to a new school, right? There, from fifth standard to sixth standard, all the students of the same school were there. You were a new student, so you look like a fresh person over there. So, freshman. The school was twice as big as my old school. The difference is now this is a high school, so bigger students they study over there, right? So the school has to be bigger. So not only in the matter of size of the classroom, the size of the classroom is also big. Plus you need lots of space because bigger children play lots of games, etc. So different fields for that playground, etc. Assembly. So whole of the school is going to be twice as big as my old school. And to make matters worse, my closest friends were sent to a different high school. I felt very isolated. And to make matters worse, that means I was the only one over there. Perhaps two, three of my old friends. But most of my old friends were sent to a different high school, and I was sent to a different high school. Maybe there was in that country particular or in that area, um, the according to the merit list, you get a better school or not a bad school, but then if your grades are lower, you get a so-so school, right? So that way. So my closest friends, they were sent to another school, but because I had good grades, I was sent to that school, and I was isolated, left alone, right? So as if I was the only person from my school, and I was a freshman. The rest of the students, they knew each other, and they were quite comfortable, right, with each other. They had friends who came from the same school, so just got promoted. I missed my old teachers so much that I would go back and visit them. That is always going to happen whenever you go out of the school, old school. Uh, you are so much attached with your teachers that many times you go back to the school and try to meet the teachers with whom you were quite comfortable. You felt quite friendly because you passed so many years with them. They know you not only by name. They know who are you. They know how you feel. They know how you developed. They know each and everything about you, even more than your parents. So you are so much attached with that school and with the teachers of that school that when you go to a new school, you don't easily just set up with the new teachers so easily, and you always tend to go back to your old school and visit them once in a while. It happens all the time. So this boy also, he missed his school so much that many times he used to go and visit the old teachers. They would encourage me to get involved in school activities so that I could meet new people. So it's the same everywhere. Teachers are going to be the same everywhere because teachers, they are there, but students, they keep on coming to them and then passing out from that class and going to perhaps a new class, perhaps going to a new school, perhaps going to a new town, new state, new country. So that is going to happen. So all those students, they always come back to us, and they have a word with us, they have a friendly talk with us, and in that friendly talk, they reveal their troubles. They came to the teachers because they know parents are not going to listen. Yes, you change my school, parents are not going to listen. That is confirmed, right? But then it's not you're not comfortable with the new school, you don't like the new school, but you always want to go back to your old teachers to have a word with them, to speak with them, to just vent out your feelings and your troubles. Sometimes the teachers are very good. They understand why the student has come back or why the student is again and again trying to visit us, because he is not comfortable in that school. It's not that it doesn't like it, but he's not able to sit in that new environment. So teachers, they always give a very good consolation to the students. Yes, they give a very good advice, and they always encourage the students to meet new people, to get sit among the new people, to sit in the new environment. Yes, and make new friends, make good acquaintances with the new teachers, right? So that is your job and you got to do it. Yes? So this way, the teachers, that boy also, the teachers of that boy, they would encourage him to get involved in the school activities. You participate more in the school activities, you participate more in the homework, classwork. Yes, always try to answer questions. And in that way, you make new friends. If you don't know something, you can ask somebody. So in that way, you can make new friends, you can get new acquaintances, and you will become friendly with others. And that is how slowly, slowly, you will dwell in that environment, and you'll become one with the environment, and you'll start liking the school and the teachers and the new students. They told me that in time I would adjust and probably end up loving my new school more than I had my old one. Yes, it happens that you spend 10, 15 days in the new school, everything is new to you, including the building, the space, the teachers, the classmates, whole of the school environment. Everything is new to you, right? So you find a little bit difficulty in adjusting over there. So that is what the students advise the teachers advise the student, then you get involved in all the activities. Slowly, slowly, you'll start liking the activities, all that. You'll get involved, and then you won't have time to think about your old school, your old teachers, your old friends, because now you'll get involved with your new friends, new teachers, and new studies, new activities, lots of game and stuff and all that, and you'll start loving your new school. And very soon, it might even happen that you'll totally forget your old school. Once in a while, 3, 4, 6 months, you'll remember, I had gone to that school, right? But you won't like going and visiting again and again, all right? So you'll probably end up loving that school more than what you are loving your old school now. They made me promise that when that happened, I would still come by and visit them from time to time. Of course, the teachers also, they have lots of attachment with the school students who pass from that standard and go to the next standard or go out of the school. Most of the times, lots of students come to us and keep on meeting us just to say hi and hello, and uh, just just talk about, so that their heart gets relieved, they can express their feelings. Yes, they're so much excited sometimes about the new school, all that's happening in their school, and they would like that to happen in our school also. So sometimes it's a total change of events, and by visiting the old school, they feel as if they feel as if they are at home, and they like very much. So the teachers, they advise that student, old student, yes, to get himself adjusted in the new environment and to take up all the activities, so that he has less time to think about his old friends and old school and old teachers. But when he gets totally involved in the new school, he shouldn't forget his old teachers and old school. And whenever time is, he has some spare time, he should always come back and meet with the old teachers that taught him. So in this way, they try to console him and give him a very good advice, so that he goes ahead in the life. I understood the psychology in what they were saying, but I took some comfort in nonetheless. I understood the psychology. Yes, it is not that the teachers don't want you to come to school again. Once you go out of the gate, once you leave the school forever and go to a new school, it is never that the principal or the teachers or the staff, they don't want you to come back to them. They always feel that my old students should always come and visit. Yes, but what is that pushing away from that school? Why are they doing it? So that the old student gets adjusted in the environment of the new school. He feels comfortable over there. The loneliness that he is feeling over there, because he is all alone. None of his old friends are over there. All the classmates are new. All the schoolmates are new. if he is taking a transport, in that bus also everybody will be new to him, right? So he needs to melt himself in that new environment, to blend himself in that new environment. And this is the necessity of life. That is what the teachers are actually teaching him, right? What are the teachers teaching him? That you, each and every moment in the life, you will come up, you will face a new challenge in the life, you will meet new people. Yes, now, if you get worried about these things, small, small things so much, then how will you take up new challenges? How will you meet new people and work with them? Because it is now just the high school. Next, you will go to higher secondary. Yes, that is 11th and 12th. There you might again change the school. Again, you might have a new environment, new students, and you'll have to make new friends. There will be new teachers. Yes, you finish 11th and 12th. That is the end of the school. Then you will have college. So every step you take ahead is you're going to meet new people, you are going to meet new environment, you are going to meet new challenges, you are going to meet new faces. So you have to make yourself adapt to such situations where you can easily blend in, but that doesn't mean that they are stopping you to come back to your own school. Only thing is they are asking you to dedicate yourself more to the new school. So I I I understood that psychology, that they are not telling me no to come back, not to come back to their old school, but they want me to go ahead in life and get well settled in the new school. But then also, nonetheless, I kept on coming back to the old school and meeting the old teachers. On Sunday afternoon, not longer after I had started high school, I was sitting at home at a dining room table doing homework. So, this is, I think, a very good child, just like you. Yes, doing his homework without anybody telling him to do it. Yes, so, and that also Sunday, and that also Sunday afternoon, right? He was at his home not long uh, after the start of at the new high school. He was at home on Sunday, and afternoon he was sitting on the dining table, and as usual he was doing his homework. It was a cold and windy fall day, and we had a fire going in the fireplace. Now, it was a cold and windy fall day. Yes, now, it is quite cold in those countries. Yes, it becomes very, very cold, especially during the autumn time when there are no leaves on the trees and the cold settles in. Yes, sometimes it rains and makes it more colder. So outside it was windy and stormy, and uh, inside also it was so cold that in the fireplace we had the wood burning so that it can keep the living room and the adjacent kitchen, etc., quite warm enough. Inside the room you should feel warm, so fireplace is there. One side of the corner, one wall of the corner, a fireplace is built, and wood keeps on burning over there, keeping the living room warm so that you feel quite comfortable inside. As usual, my red tabby cat was lying on top of all my papers, purring loudly and occasionally sweating at my pen for entertainment's sake. So, the pet cat of that small little boy, right? You can't call him small little boy, he is already in 8th grade, right? So, almost 14 years, 13, 14 years of age. So, my red tabby cat was lying on top of my papers. I was sitting at the dining table, and on top of that dining table, lots of my paperwork and lots of my papers, my books, etc., were lying all, yes, just dirty, messed up quality that all of you have. Yes, when you're writing, when you're doing your work, you have it's all sprawled half a kilometer all around you, right? So, the same way the little boy was doing his homework, but then all the things were spread on the dining table, and the cat was on top of it, and it's a pet cat, you can't say anything to it, right? And it's a everyday thing. Yes, she will sit on your papers and she will keep on purring, yes, time and again try to get your attention. Yes, and it's winter time, so it's not going to be outside, and it feels quite warm inside, so it will be either by the fireplace somewhere, or you are there, so it will come to you and sit with you on the table. And it was sitting at my pen for entertainment sake, now and then taking up some things to play with, and there was my pen lying over there. So she was playing with that pen. She was never far from me. Yes, she was a pet cat, and whenever I am home, my cat will always be with me. Yes, cats. Yeah, young children, they love small puppies and cats and all that. And cats and puppies and dogs also, they love small children because small children will be more energetic just like them. Yes, as for example, pet dogs. When pet dogs are there, they'll always be playing with the children because children are more energetic just like them. It is not that my parents is so दिन भर के थके हुए कहाँ किसको बाहर लेके जाएंगे, so they are not going to do it. But the pets, they know that the children, they will be playful with them. So, and it's the beloved cat of that small boy, so the cat will always be wherever that boy is. I had rescued her when she was a kitten. Yes, and it's a very beautiful story that when it was a kitten, small kitten, young one, the boy had saved him from somewhere, and then the cat started liking the boy, and because the boy had rescued her, so then the pet understands the cat, it understands, and it had always stayed with the small little boy. And somehow she knew that I was the one responsible for giving her the good life. Yes, she might have been outside in the open where she is subjected to the chasing of the dogs, etc. And quite frightened, small little one must have lost its mother in some accident, and the small boy had rescued her and brought it inside her house. So the cat knows, it's an animal, but it can be domesticated very well, tamed very well. And the cat knows that this boy is my savior. He brought me from a terrible condition that I was in to this lovely little house and offered me a place to live with him. And so the cat loves the boy like anything and always is with the boy. Whenever the boy is at home or just in the compound somewhere playing, the cat will always be with him. Now, my mother kept stoking the fire to keep the house nice and warm. Stoking the fire, it's a good word, yes, and you should always understand. We just talked about the fireplace. That fireplace is always, when you enter the house, it will either be in the front or it will be on the left hand side or right hand side, wherever the house, whichever side the location is. Yes, it will be at the one of the wall, right? So a fireplace is there and wood keeps burning. When wood is burnt, ash will keep falling from it, and if ash covers the whole of the fire, then the fire will dull out and extinguish. So now and then you need to keep on adding fresh wood, or you got to keep on moving the logs that are burning so that you can disturb the ash, make it fall away, and the fire can again catch the oxygen, because if the ash is on top of it, the fire cannot catch the oxygen and it will extinguish if stoking is not there. So stoking is basically moving the logs of wood with the iron, yes, iron rod, and you keep stoking it and you keep on disturbing, or you keep on brushing away the ash with that iron so that the fire is bright and burning, and it will keep on continuing, keep on the room warm. So my mother kept the fire to keep the house nice and warm. Suddenly I smelled something strange, and then I noticed it. Yes, while my mother, now and then she used to come outside from the kitchen, or she was sitting over that sofa, we don't know. But every now and then she took care of stoking the fire and keeping it fresh so that it keeps on burning brightly and keeps the room warm, right? But I just scented some smell and I was not able to place it. But then I noticed it. What was it? Smoke pouring in through the seams of the ceiling. Now, what are the seams of the ceiling? Yes, they have a house made up of wood. Yes, whole of the house will be made up of wood, including the ceiling. There will be long planks of wood in place of ceiling, right? So the smoke was pouring in from the seams of the ceiling, the cracks in between those planks, right? Smoke pouring in through the seams of the ceiling. The smoke began to fill the room so quickly that we could barely see. Yes, sometimes it happens that the fire is already burning in the fireplace, and you burn that fire every day. So what happens is you burn the wood every day, and lots of carbon gets accumulated in the chimney. That is called soot. SWOT, soot. The soot, the black thing, powdery thing that gets stuck on the walls of the inside the walls of the chimney over there. Say, making the gap narrower and narrower. The smoke cannot get that much space to go out. It might happen because this chimney, it will be quite long. The fire will always be on the ground floor, right? And the building usually has a first floor also, and above that the attic, and above that that will be the roof. So the chimney comes out of the roof, so it will be some one and a half floor up. So somewhere the soot gets so much um, blocked up that it blocks the path of the smoke and does not allow the smoke to go out. Now smoke will go out from somewhere. It will always find some cracks is inside. So it might have found some way, because it cannot go up. So it might be coming out of somewhere, right? And the smoke began to fill the room so quickly that we could barely see. So the smoke was coming through the seams of the ceiling, and slowly it filled the ground floor room where that boy and the mother were. Yes, and the smoke filled that room so quickly that we were barely able to see anything in the room. That means we have to leave the house and run out quickly so that we can open the doors and windows. Perhaps smoke will have some time to get out of the room. Yes, we all ran out into the front yard. By the time we made our way outside, and quickly, as soon as we saw that the whole of the room was filled with smoke, that means it is smoke right now, but that means fire might be following very soon. And before that happens, because when there is lots of smoke, you can't breathe inside, so you got to get out of the house as soon as possible, and you got to go out in the far out in the open so that you have lots of oxygen over there. And otherwise you will have breathing problems, right? So both of them, we means the boy and the mother, both of them, they rushed out of the room on the front yard. Front yard, what is yard? Front yard, the small space in front of the house, that's called front yard. By the time we made out our way outside, the whole roof was engulfed in flames, and that was the accident. Yes, whole of the roof had caught fire, and that fire, the smoke was not able to go outside, so the smoke was coming down. It will find out a way to come outside, right? So that means whole of the attic, whole of the first floor, and now the ground floor was full of smoke, and fire was there. Soon the fire will spread, and then when fire spreads, it will do a little bit destruction, but then it will have enough open space to let out the smoke. And now the whole of the roof had caught fire, and it was in flames, and the fire was spreading very quickly. I ran to the neighbors to call the fire department. Now fire, the houses caught fire, so you need the fire department immediately to come and extinguish the fire. So now you can't go inside because inside there is lots of smoke and maybe fire also now, so you cannot reach your telephone. So it's always better to use somebody else's telephone, and it is always the neighbors who come to help, right? So he ran to the neighbors to tell them to call the fire department, while I watched my mother run back into the house. Now, when I came back, I saw my mother running in the opposite direction towards the house. She was going inside the house when the fire had already broken, and when we came out of the house, the room was already filled with smoke, right? And it's quite dangerous to go inside, but the boy could do nothing because mother had ran inside the house. My mother then ran out of the house carrying a small metal box full of important documents. Right? Why had she gone in? Yeah, both of them, they came out in a hurry. But then important documents are there inside the house. Yes, cash, valuables, right? Some of the documents which when got lost, or they get burned, destroyed, it becomes very difficult to get a copy of it, right? So rather than that, There is still time. The roof has caught fire. Yes, the fire, you can't see the fire in the ground, on the ground floor. So it's better to go in right now when there is time. So mother rushed in. Is whatever documents she can get hold of, she quickly gathered all of that and came running outside with some important documents. She dropped the case on the lawn in a crazed state, again ran back into the house. I knew what she was after. Yes, now she dropped whatever she had brought on the grass there in the garden, and she again at top speed started running back towards the house. This time I knew what she was going after, or what she was trying to reach the house for. My father had died when I was young. Yes, very sorry to know that. After three, four paragraphs, we come to know that the mother and the child, they were living all alone, because when the boy was quite young, the father had died and the mother was alone raising the child. She was a single mother and trying to raise up that child, right? So we know that the child is already in difficulty because he has lost father when he was quite young. My father had died when I was young, and I was certain that she was not going to let his pictures and letters go up in flames. Now she had brought all the important documents. Yes, maybe that is passport, maybe that is the social security number, etc., cards, IDs, bank, all the bank checkbooks and passbooks and all that, whatever important insurance documents. She must have gone to bring it back. But now she was running in for the second time. She was taking the danger, she was taking the risk, still trying to get in the house before the house catches fire to bring out something invaluable. What was that? It was his father's photograph. That means the photograph of the husband. Husband is no more, but his memories cannot die. Photographs, letters written by the husband to the wife, that is by the father to the mother, that is all very invaluable. जिसकी कोई कीमत नहीं हो सकती, right? So those things are invaluable and they have to be brought out. So that is why she had rushed in. So certain she was not going to let his pictures and letters go up in flame. She was not going to forget. You can never take out a person from the memory, but the photographs, the lots of things that are attached with that person who is no more, is they keep on making us remember that person. Yes, it gives us that touch, that feeling. Yes, when we held the picture of the person who is no more with us, yes, it becomes alive and our memories become quite fresh. And that is the reason why mother rushed in to get the picture of the father and the letters that father had written to her. And she was not going to allow the fire burn up or go up into flames those pictures and whatever memories were attached with the things that belong to the father, right? So they were only things that she had to remember him by. Those were the only things with which you remember a person who is no more with us. Yes, in our houses, all of our homes, we have that thing. Yes, great grandfather, grandfather, all the elders, or someone near and dear is no more with us. We have photographs of that hanging up on the wall to keep us reminding. Those are the only things. Some of the things that the person used, we keep it, yes, as a very good memory, and we keep it very safe and we like it. We keep because it belonged to them and now it belongs to us. That's a different thing. But that memory now belongs to us. So she was not going to let those pictures and letters go up in flame. Those were the only things with which she can remember him. Still, I screamed at her. I knew she was going to go for that, but then I can't allow my mother to take risk. Yes, she goes inside, and what happens if the fire breaks out and she is unable to come out? I already lost my father. Now, danger. Mother is taking such a great risk. I might lose my mother also. So I know why she was going inside. But then I yelled at her. I shouted at her, "Mom, please don't go inside." No. But others, they never listen. Yes, I was about to run after her when I felt a large hand hold me back. It was a fireman. The fire brigade was already there. Yes, the fire engines to extinguish the fire were already there. And fireman, he caught me from going inside. Yes, you go to save your mother. Both of you will get stuck. And then there's an accident which nobody can save you from, right? So mother has gone out. She's an adult. She can do something and come out. But now you don't go inside, and now that makes a trouble for all of us. Yes. So I was about to go after her when a strong hand caught me, and when I turned back to see, it was a fireman. I hadn't even noticed that the street had already filled with fire trucks. I was so much engrossed in whatever was happening in front of me. Yes, I was worried about my mother when she ran inside first and bring out all the documents and throw it on the grass over there, and again rushed back. I was so much engrossed in that. I was so much absorbed in that activities that I didn't even know. I didn't even hear the sirens of the fire engine. Whole of the block was filled. Whole of the space outside my house was filled up with fire engines, and I didn't even know that they existed and they were standing over there, right? And when I looked back, who caught me? I saw the fireman, and then I saw that whole fire brigade was lined up over there, right? With fire trucks. I was trying to free myself from the car, yelling, "You don't understand. My mother's gone inside there. My mother's inside." Yes, so son, calm down, cool down. Yes, nothing is going to happen to your mother. We have arrived and we are going to do our best. Yes, your mother is no child. She will come out, and if she can't, we'll go inside and save her. But you don't go inside. So I was trying to free myself. The boy was so desperate. He has already lost his father. He doesn't want to lose his mother. He's desperate to go in. He's yelling. He's trying to yank himself off from the fireman's hands. But they have caught, the fireman has caught him very strongly. He knows the mentality of people over there. Yes, the psychology of people over there. They want to save the members of their family, so they are ready to jump into the fire. Yes, and every time it happens, so the fireman they are quite experienced with these things, right? So the little boy wants to run away, but the fireman is not letting him to go away. So the fireman, he had hold on to the boy's collar so hard, so fast that the grip was so good that the boy was not able to yank himself free, yes, from the grip of the fireman. He held on to me. Yes, now he might have just tried to wrap his two arms. Yes, quite good, adult, strong hands. Yes, the boy was small, so easily controllable. So he held on to me while other firefighters they ran towards the house, into the house. He knew that I wasn't acting very logically. That is what we just discussed. Yes, the psychology that works at this time is completely illogical. You cannot reason with it. Yes, your mother is inside. You are not going to wait for anybody. You are going to jump into the fire, right? It's your beloved mom inside, so you're not going to lose her. Yes, whatever it takes, you're going to go and save her. And that is exactly what is illogical. Yes, whole of the roof is on fire. Yes, smoke is blowing out of the windows and doors, whichever is open. Yes, coming out from the cracks all over the house. And very soon, with one boom, the whole of the house is going to be on fire, and your mother is inside. So the fireman very well understands this type of logic, because for him it's all the experience that he has gathered over the years, right? If he allows the boy to go, the boy is going to rush in and be in trouble. So he holds to that boy, and other firemen they go inside the building. He knew that I wasn't acting very logically, and that if he were to let go, I'll run. He was right. Yes, if he allows me to, if he frees me, what am I going to do? I'm just going to run in. I'm going to rush in, and that is exactly what I will do, right? And he was very right. Yes, he hold on to me, and it was a very good thing. He didn't allow me to go. It's all right, they'll get her. So lots of people have gone in. All the firemen, they're experienced people. Yes, they have gone in, and they are going to bring your mom safe and sound outside. He said. He wrapped a blanket around me and set me down in a car. The car was outside, parked, maybe somewhere. So he gave me a blanket. Yes, because it's very cold outside in these parts. And we know the house was on fire because there was fire in the fireplace, and it didn't have any place to go. Right, the smoke couldn't find, maybe it got stuck somewhere, and then that is how the fire broke out. Yes, fire, they had fire in the fireplace because it's very cold outside. Now, because they're inside the house, they're not going to wear all those jackets and sweaters and all that. Yes, shoes and boots and gloves and all that. But once outside, they are out in the open. It's very going to be very, very cold. So the fireman, he gave me a blanket and he asked me to sit in my car. Soon after that, a fireman emerged from my house with my mom in the tow. Yes, and very successfully, the fireman who had gone inside, the first thing that they do is to search for human beings over there, people inside, and if they find that they can walk still, yes, they are not unconscious, they haven't burned themselves, if they can be rescued, right? If they can't walk or if they have burned themselves, then they'll put them on the shoulders and run out of the house. If the person can walk, then because the fireman has gloves and all that, he can see in the smoke also, right? So in the toe, that means the fireman had caught the little boy's mother one hand and guided her out of the house. He quickly took her over to the trunk and put an oxygen mask on her. Now, that fireman, he brought my mother outside. How? In the tow, he quickly took him over to the trunk of the truck, took him and put an oxygen mask because she was in smoke, right? Her body had gulped in lots of smoke, right? And she needed oxygen desperately, right? So, immediately, oxygen mask was given and oxygen flooded in her. And when the hose is open, right, oxygen tank, the valve is open, yes, oxygen, you can breathe in oxygen and your body gets oxygen, and within no time you are again cool and calm. So I ran and hugged her. Yes, she had an oxygen mask on her face, but I was so much relieved to see her that I ran out of my car and I just hugged her, embraced her, and just was hugging and closing tight my arms around her. Yes, I was very fearing very much. I was full of fright that I'll lose my mom also, but now she's safe and sound. Okay, oxygen mask, hardly 2 minutes, 5 minutes. Okay, then you can breathe properly. The mask will be removed. She's not in danger at all, right? So just a little bit of smoke gone inside. It will be thrown out by the body within no time. So with this, we complete our today's lecture. We'll continue with the next lecture. Thank you, students.